Good afternoon. I want to start today by asking the room if any of you guys have any pets, particularly dogs. Perfect. And when you got those pets or obtained those pets, were you looking for anything in mind? Were you thinking of breed? Were you thinking of the color of the coat? Perfect. So many people are like this sample here we have today. Many people, when they adopt a pet, they are interested in the looks and they are interested in what the dog can bring to the table as far as their family needs and all that jazz. And personally, I have my own pet. Her name is Luna. She's a pit bull mix and I love her to death. She is so adorable. Her eyes just melt my heart. She's my best friend. But when I got her, I wasn't looking for particular looks because I know that dogs, just like humans, come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but they are just right the way they are. Many people like to shop for pets because of specific traits that they find desirable. For example, the pug. The pug has been selected to have a squished face and a longer, like a squished face, to the point where they snort every time they waddle. And for another example would be a German Shepherd. In the show circuit, a German Shepherd with a sloped back is desirable instead of a German Shepherd with a regular upright back. And another example would be a Shar Pei and their skin folds. Well, those characteristics we all find so desirable are actually what are bringing pain and are leading to a life of just a terrible life for these animals. So through artificial selection, humans have been able to, for example, turn teosinte into corn and being able to mass produce crops from agriculture. They've been able to minimize disease, but they've also been able to alter the way animals look at a price. So the previous three examples I have brought up, the pug, the Shar Pei, and the German Shepherd, they're all part of a massive and greater problem. This was a pug in the 1800s. If you notice, its face is not pushed in. It has a regular long body, long limbs, and it looks pretty much like a standard dog. Well, years of selective breeding and artificial selection have led to a skull that looks a little like this. So, this would be an English bulldog, which is regular. You could see the maxilla is just a little bit shorter than the mandible, and this is the underbite that people have selected for. People found it favorable, they wanted more of it, so they made it more intense. This is a English bulldog now. As you can see, the maxilla is extremely pushed inwards and the mandible is extremely pushed outwards. And you can only imagine how hard it is for this animal to eat, breathe, and perform other daily functions that should be regular for them. Problems such as this skull deformity lead to breathing problems as well as eating problems for many animals. Those adorable snorts I just mentioned for pugs are actually cries for help because they can't breathe. Another example I mentioned is the Shar Pei. So a Shar Pei is those beautiful dogs you see with luscious skin folds. And this is evolutionary. This benefited the Shar Pei because it helped it defend itself. When it was fighting, protecting the family, if it were to be bitten in the face, the predator would only bite the skin and it wouldn't cause damage to the face. And this is what the regular Shar Pei looks like. As you can see, they have pretty significant skin folds, but it's nothing too extreme. And years of selective and artificial breeding have led us to have the need to do this. So this is a picture of tacking. Tacking is a technique used by vets in order to prevent the skin folds from rolling into the eye and having the eyelashes dig into the eyeball. So basically we have to have surgery to keep their eyelids awake because we have bred Shar Peis to have such extreme skin folds that they cannot open their eyes on their own, or their eyes will roll into their head. Their eyelid will roll into their eyeball and cause permanent damage. Skin folds also lead, if they are not properly taken care of, they may lead to extreme skin infections and other diseases. And one last example would be the German Shepherd. I mentioned the sloped back, and this is very popular in the show circuit. So dog shows, if you see any dog competitions, they will always judge a German Shepherd on its position, on its stance, and especially on the slope of the back. So this is what we should be accustomed to seeing. As you can see, it has an upright back, and it has pretty good posture, nothing too intense. And this is a German Shepherd, which would be desirable in the show circuit. As you can see, it has a large slope in its back, almost to the point where it doesn't even have a back, and it's just slanted forward. And this sloped back will cause such problems as hip dysplasia and other arthritic type of damage. And many German Shepherds become unable to walk because of the slope of their back, leading them to either die an early death or become immobilized at a very young age. So these two words, artificial selection, have led to the mass market and the mass production of purebred dogs. And two main ways that people acquire purebred dogs are through things such as puppy mills and incest breeding. So much like the olden days, sometimes people believe that if you keep it within the same bloodline and you do not mix bloodlines, you should have the purest of dogs, the purest bred of dogs. Well, this, much like humans, when you combine too much of the same DNA, will cause deformities. So many of the dogs that are born or bred through these incest lines will end up with severe health issues, severe genetic deformities, and will live a very short and painful life. In puppy mills, on the other hand, puppy mills are the mass production of these purebred dogs. Puppy mills include kennels which are overflown, may have 50 plus puppies in them, not enough food, and definitely not sanitary. And many of them do not run under government supervision, so they are pretty much allowed to run as they please. So this may sound terrible, but we do have a way to stop and slow down the process of this terrible disaster artificial selection is leaving behind. We are able to adopt. So many people, when they're looking for a pet, they love to bring puppies, and maybe because of the cupid doll effect, we want puppies because they're cuter, they're more adorable. But many people do not realize you can get the same type of companionship from a shelter dog that you adopt. And even better, they are healthy and will have a better quality of life. So next time you are looking or in the market for a pet, please consider your options regarding adoption. A lot of dogs are in shelters. They need love as much as anyone does, and you will not be contributing to the terrible, terrible truth, which is artificial selection, puppy mills, and incest breeding. Thank you, and thank you for your time.